How did you feel when you heard about the blackmail?
Honestly, I found it ridiculous.
And now?
Now I'm kinda interested. But I wouldn't call it blackmail yet. They're just empty threats. There were no demands.
Good point.
Thank you. Are we done?
No, not quite.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Why didn't you just call the police?
Huh? Why? What would have been the use of that? A few messages aren't enough for a case. You should know that.
Harassment makes for a case. So do threats.
Who were you trying to convince, Sonny? Huh? They would have laughed in my face. Anyway, you know, the police station. Once I set foot in there, I'm not coming out again.
Your lawyers are too good for that, Ibn.
Yeah, I guess you're right, chicken.
Why would anyone have reason to blackmail your girlfriend?
I don't know, maybe because she's my girlfriend?
You think that's enough?
It's plenty enough.
Good point.
Oh, are you finally getting to a point? Or do you really want to dig around in my private life? Because, people who do that end up in the alley, if you catch my drift.
Very much so, Mr. Wessler. Wessler is tougher than I thought. And he's secretive. It's time to gently beat around the bush. Are you and Natasha close?
What do you mean exactly, chicken?
Mr. Featherland, if you please. This could be important. How does she stand on the scale from sweetheart to wife?
Oh, you have some nerve. Ask her that. I'm a gentleman, Mr. Featherland.
Really?
Maybe you can't comprehend it, but I can't ask for her hand until she offers it to me herself.
How chivalrous.
Get to the point, detective.
Ibn is quick-tempered, and I can use that to my advantage. I've confounded and softened him with my previous questions. Now it's time to be specific and ruthless. Would you be willing to testify at the station?
You're joking, right?
Maybe I can get you an invitation. Believe me, you'd love it. The coffee's good, but the chairs are kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, you have a peculiar sense of humor. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Is she completely alone when she's there at the weekend?
As I've told you, Natasha's a free woman, eh? She's an adult. She doesn't need an escort. Or, she didn't need one until now.
Are you afraid for her? You know, a big star like her, alone in that house.
I never said a black car doesn't drive by 2 or 3 times a day, but, it's just caution. Huh. I'm not a monster after all, am I?
I suppose not. So Natasha feels like she's in grave danger, yet she's still going out alone.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at. but I'm 100% sure of her loyalty. She's gone out very rarely since this started, and mostly in my company. Yeah, you know, I'm not sure if you do, but in our social circles, banquets and dinners are frequent.
Illegal gambling nights.
You got me there. Yeah, you're right. Natasha is crazy about the roulette wheel.
Always putting it all on the red, right?
Yeah, you're a real rotten bastard, Sonny. Although, yeah, always on the red. You're right.
So, can we meet your lady?
I don't see why not. But first, please, listen to her sing. She's on soon.
Thank you for your time.
I have no doubt about that.
Hey, we should grab a coffee or something, Olivia. You know, for old time's sake.
Pleasure to meet you, gentlemen. Goodbye.
Oh.
Please, take a seat. The show's gonna start soon.
Bourbon moon hangs in the sky. My man has left with a golden smile. This is so funny. You can kill me, honey. I'm already dead inside. My body is an empty bottle. Come on, baby, just give us
Sonny. Sonny.
say Chloe's still lying in my bed, and it's dead.
That was, unique.
Oh, that is cute. Nobody has ever given me such a unique compliment before.
Forgive me, my name is Santino Featherland.
I thought so. You look more or less like I imagined.
More or less.
Sometimes less is more, Mr. Featherland.
You were amazing, dear. As always.
Could you be my little furball and fetch me a cocktail?
But of course.
Ibn will be back soon. We'll have a few minutes to talk. Then he'll end the conversation and throw you both out.
With all due respect, ma'am, we're not that easy to get rid of. Doesn't matter who's trying, believe me.
Doesn't matter, he'll do it. That's why I'm telling you. I don't want a scene. My room's upstairs. Meet me there in 20 minutes. Come alone, Sonny. You'd be too conspicuous otherwise.
Hey,
I understand. You know, they call him Target Marty at the station.
I don't have time, Mr. Featherland.
Sure thing, Natasha. I'll come to your room. 3 knocks, a short pause, then another 3.
I'll be waiting. Go, before he comes back.
I knew she was trouble the first time I saw her. She wore danger like a perfume. It was simply part of her being, and it attracted me, like light attracts the moth people. I wanted to be the microphone as she whispers her melodies, or the pillow she rests her feet on while reading some cheap romance. I wanted to be her nightdress, barely touching, barely covering her marble skin. But I was a cop. And a lifetime wouldn't be enough to rid myself of what a woman like her hides under her makeup. Keep your distance, Sonny. Just keep your distance.
How do you like your bourbon, Mr. Featherland?
In a glass. But thanks, I had a couple before I came. I feel like this may be a long night.
I hope it doesn't bother you if I have one myself.
I get offended if women don't drink in my company.
Oh, you are a funny guy.
So I've been told. Anyway, lovely room.
Yes. Look, Mr. Featherland.
It's sunny. Saves us a lot of time.
Okay, Sonny.
So, why am I here?
You know, men tend to babble in my presence.
It must be exhausting.
It is. But you're not the type to beat around the bush.
Is it too banal if I tell you it's an occupational hazard?
Terribly.
So can I start the unpleasant questions?
I've asked you here so you can do what you do best.
Really? I thought you asked because you wanted me to investigate for you. But if you'd rather be drinking...
You do have a sense of humor. How reassuring.
Only if I'm a bit hungover. That's usually quite common.
Oh, please drop the act about being the alcoholic, heartbroken ex-cop, Sonny. It would undoubtedly suit you, but I've seen you scanning my room. From the second you set foot in here, you started working, and everything I say gets sorted in your brain. Am I right?
That's a bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, it's something like that.
Well then, Sonny, come at me.
Well, that's something I don't hear often. With pleasure. I can't leave until... Gee, that is a, unique picture. And kind of daring. I admit I've never seen anything quite like it before.
Yes, I admit it's a little daring. I keep it. It evokes good memories. A precious old friend of mine. A most wonderful artist.
He's got an eye, that's for sure, considering his model.
Was that supposed to be some kind of compliment?
I don't know. I don't compliment often. Not on purpose, anyway.
Oh, you're funny.
I bet you spend a lot of your time staring into the mirror. Do you even recognize yourself?
Maybe you were trying to be rude, but, you know, that's a very good question.
Natasha is a confident woman. I can exploit that. But I must be careful. That was a remarkable performance.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Do you perform here frequently? You're also the owner, if I'm not mistaken.
Sadly, I don't have the time, but the stage still calls my name, and I perform just a few times a year, and always with a new song.
So that was all the excitement.
I have many admirers, if that's what you mean. Yes.
The picture on the wall is quite daring.
Only if you knew how old I was at the time.
I think I'm on a slippery slope here.
Come on, don't be shy. Ask me.
All right. How old were you?
Did you really believe I'd tell you?
You're quite a player, aren't you?
Life is anything but a game, detective.
You tell me. Do you think one of your admirers might be behind the threats?
Those who admire me usually idolize me. No, I don't think it's one of them.
You know, the soul of an animal is extremely complicated. Sometimes all it takes is a bad look or some small rejection to turn admiration into hate.
That's a stillborn theory. No one hates me if they once loved me, Mr. Detective.
Ah, I see. Do you have any material evidence concerning the threats?
You may think I'm irresponsible, but I didn't keep any of it. I simply couldn't bear to look at them.
Didn't you think maybe the police would need it?
I didn't think I needed the police. Moreover, do you think the girlfriend of Ibn Wessler could ever turn to the cops?
I see. So, what about me? How do I come into the picture?
It sounds ridiculous, but you're my last hope.
That does sound ridiculous, but I accept. My ego and old habits.
You can't do anything else, can you?
Something like that. A leopard can't change its spots. Deep behind the diamond skin lies the truth. It doesn't matter how hard Natasha's trying to hide it. She's scared. Now I must concentrate to finally find out what I want to know. What was in those threats, exactly?
The message itself is not a threat. It's just a word.
But a word again and again is threatening.
Exactly.
So,
You really don't have any idea which word could be used for a woman like me?
I guess I do. Yes, I think I know what it could be.
Whore. Cat got your tongue? Am I right? You heard it. I said what you were thinking. And yes, that was in the message. That was printed on the paper and painted on my wall in giant red letters.
Well, thank you for your honesty. No one's ever seen the culprit? Not even a shadow?
That's one of the most curious things. Ibn has men everywhere, literally, my shadows, ghosts in every alley. But no one saw anything.
One of them could be the culprit.
Ibn pays his animals well, and he's the most dangerous man in the city. A combination that nullifies your theory, I believe?
Maybe, ma'am. Love is capable of insane miracles and miraculous insanity.
What poetry. Did you ever think about writing a book?
Never. I'm afraid I'd learn too much about myself.
Maybe that's the point. I would read about you. Not like the chicken police Pulp Fiction.
Furry hell. Do you read that trash?
Like everyone else in the city.
Oh, great.
I think it's flattering, even as badly written tales of heroes in the gutter.
You enjoy it?
Oh, just a little, Sonny. Just a little.
fan and not an inside job. Who do you suspect?
Aren't you supposed to know that?
Usually, yes. But I've got nothing to go on. And you don't have a hunch.
Maybe I do. But first, I want to know if you'll even accept my case.
I'm here, aren't I?
That's true, but I must know if I can trust you.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating.
I wish it was that simple.
Natasha is a mysterious woman, but I must gouge out at least one of her secrets. Enough games. It's time to know why I'm here. Let's stop beating about the bush. How do you know Molly?
I'm prepared for that question, but it's still not easy.
You knew very well that if you threw in the name of my wife, I'd come to you no matter how vague and suspicious the case was. I just want to know if you're simply a manipulator or you're really that desperate.
I really know her. I'm not lying.
Oh, really? How? Were you a nurse, too? Forgive me, but I don't think so.
Don't be rude and so cynical, Sonny.
I'm sorry, but that's me when feline claws are at my throat.
Molly is an old and good friend of mine. She has nothing to do with this, but I knew that if I didn't mention it to you, you wouldn't have come.
Yeah, Natasha, you're right there.
I knew you were a decent fowl, that you would help me. That's what you're famous for.
Don't go there. Flattery doesn't work.
Look, forgive me. I shouldn't have brought your wife into this.
You're right, you shouldn't have. But to be honest, I don't think she's my wife anymore. On paper she is, but I haven't seen her in years.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Really?
I did. I knew. I checked you out before I sent Deborah.
Cluck me. This case is getting more and more intriguing. You played me from the start, didn't you?
It wasn't my intention.
I'm an old cock, Natasha. I've played too many of these games, and I've been on the losing side often enough.
So, you're going to walk away?
You're damn right. I don't know if it's worth it for me.
Look, Sonny, money's not an issue.
Oh yeah, your fawn had already mentioned that. But unfortunately, it'll be hard to spend all that dough when I'm dead.
Dead? Don't...
Do you have a gun?
Me?
Of course you, Natasha. Do you...
Not at the moment.
Well, let me give you some advice. Keep it with you, always.
You don't think they...
Don't be naive, Nat.
You're right. I'll keep it with me.
I don't want to scare you, but 2 cops snooping around can mess something like this up, even if it's...
You'll keep snooping? Thank you, Sonny.
Maybe you're getting yourself into even deeper trouble with me.
Just one more thing, Sonny.
Natasha?
Please, come to 37 Rochester Street in Flower Town tonight. I'd like to show you something that could be of a great help in your investigation.
I was afraid this was coming. Why there? Why not here and now?
It's something I keep hidden there. I won't take the risk of Ibn or one of his men seeing it.
Isn't Ibn too dangerous to keep secrets from?
Sonny, a woman is naked without her secrets. I knew you would understand.
Oh yeah, I understand everything. So, when do we meet? The night is almost over.
I'll be there in an hour. Don't be early, and don't be too late.
Look, Natasha, you know...
Please, this is very important to me.
Sure, I get it. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Until later, Natasha.
Goodbye, Sonny.
This woman's aware of her charm, and she knows how to use it. A rare and dangerous combination. Why did you name it the Tsar Club when you took over? Why did you name it so wide? May I be brash? So this message. Why just me? What's wrong with my partner? So, who's this Olivia bird? May I be brash?
It's New Year's Eve.
Ibn, do you love him?
In my own way, yes.
Whatever that means.
You can't understand this, Sonny. There are women who can't actually love. Not like they're supposed to. But that doesn't mean they don't love however they can.
That's not a real answer.
If you all...
Seriously, how did you find me? So this...
Well,
Weren't you supposed to be waiting in the car?
I was bored to tears, Sonny.
You thought Natasha had eaten me alive.
Well, who knows? You're such a fragile little thing.
I'm too old for this, Marty.
Then next time, leave the dangerous predators to me.
I didn't mean that, Marty. I meant you.
Oh,